Hi everyone, Shell here, Shell's Nails. Right, I was in the process of doing my nails, and if you've seen my latest haul, you'll have seen these tips that I got, these press-ons. Now, I call them, to me there's a difference between my normal press-ons and these press-ons. My normal press-ons are clear, and I can put them on with gel polish, because the light, the UV light, will cure through them. Nothing will cure through these, so these have to be glued on. So just bear in mind when you're buying tips like these, they do have to be glued on because the light won't penetrate. Okay, so these are sort of temporary. So these are, I wanted to put a pair on for Valentine's. I wanted to put a pair on for Halloween, so I decided to go for, well, these ones. So this is them. Let me move them out of the way so I don't knock them over and spill them all. So this video should also be out. So I got this set from Born Pretty, the glue and the removal, and I've tested it and it works great. So this is air dry nail glue. So this is what you would normally put your press-ons on with, that you can't cure through. Okay, so I've basically put them on. Don't be tempted to use too much glue, because if you use too much glue, it won't air dry, and then if you go to pick something up, they'll likely pop off. But this is actually really quite strong. So these have been on. I put them on yesterday, but I did them later on, and I felt, this is what I'll show you. So I feel that they're flat. So there's not a lot of apex because I haven't filled underneath with gel. There's no structure as well. So if you're just going to wear them for a Halloween party or something, fabulous, great. Set yourself away, lovely. But if you want to elevate them a little bit and you want them to last a bit longer, I'm going to show you what I did with mine. So I basically, on my natural nails, I have a little bit of hard gel and I put a shiny top coat on. Okay. If you want them to last even longer, you could buff the top coat and then put them on. They'll last even longer. But I'll be taking these off. What date are we on? Well, we're on the 21st. I think it's the 21st when I'm recording this. So probably the next weekend these will be coming off. But yeah, but the glue is really good and it does last. So, and I have tested it. I had two or three of me last set on with the glue, and they lasted a couple of weeks. So, but obviously press-ons often are white underneath, and I think that cheapens them, because obviously they're just cheaper for them to print on, you know. I mean, these are just printed on. But what I've done is I've buffed them. Need to buff that again. It's got a little bit of top coat on off the other nail. But anyway, so I've buffed them and I've cleaned them with IPA. And I'll show you what I'm going to do with them. So because they're matte and they're buffed, I'm going to use the Aimeili Builder Base. So this is CMA free. It hasn't got ingredients on this one, but they're on Amazon, so you can check them on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strengthen them because I want them to last. They are quite long, and I think for them being so long, they're very flat. So I just thought, I got my sexy jammers on. In fact, I'm not even going to pull them up past Karen. I was just in the middle of doing that. I thought, why aren't I showing you? Why aren't I showing you? So yeah. So I've done the rest. I don't know why, but obviously it didn't occur to us till I was doing me non-dominant. So you'll have to excuse us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take a little bit, not too much. And I'm just going to put a thin layer of this builder base on to start with. There we go. Okay, so you've got a thin layer. So some people call this a slip layer, some people call it a various different variations of the same thing. It just gives you a little bit of a surface to move your gel around on. It moves around easier. So then I'm going to give that a wiggle inside there so that I get quite a bit on the brush. As you can see, the brush is full. And then I'm going to just drag that off there so I've got a bead on my nail. And then I'm going to just bear in mind this is with me left, me non-dominant. So I'm going to gently push that bead up, or pillow it, whatever you want to call it, bulldoze, there's loads of different terms, but, and then I'm just going to pull the excess down the rest of my nail. Now I don't need much at the bottom because I've already got the bulk of the product here, which is where I need it. So then what I would do is I would just have a look at it, use my light line. You can see it's a bit lumpy bumpy, so I'm going to just drag this down just with a little thin brush, and it's starting to bunch up on that side. So I'm going to hold my finger on the side. Gravity is your best friend. So has that settled it? Yeah. So then what you can do is you can hold your hand upside down and let gravity pull that gel into the middle. So just give it a few seconds. And then you can flip your hand over, check your light line so we're still a bit wonky donkey. Because I don't want to have to file these. Defeats the object of putting press-ons on. So all I'm doing is just evening out the builder gel. And another few seconds upside down, and then we'll get it in the lamp. So that's basically what I'm going to do. That's come on, you wee timorous beastie. There we go. This doesn't want to flatten out. I think I might have a hairy Mary in there actually. There's always a hairy Mary in, isn't there? Always a hairy Mary, always a bit of fluff. Just flatten that down the edge. I think that'll do. Should be able to get the rest of that with top coat. So I'll give that a maybe a 20-second cure, and then I'll do another nail with you, and I'll show you the rest of what I did. So this is just a, if you want to take your cheap press-ons, I think I'm not saying oh mine are the next level. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that you can add stuff to these to make them even better, in my opinion. So yeah, so again, we're not going to have loads on the brush this time, just a normal there. You can always push your cuticle back as well. That'll means you'll be able to get a bit closer. Here we go. These press-ons are absolutely stunning, I have to say. So I'll get as much on my brush as I can. And then I'm just going to scrape it off the brush as best I can with my lefty. And then I'm going to take all the product and pillow it up. That's just the term I use. You can use whatever term suits you. And then just pull it down a little bit and just drag it the rest of the way, because you don't want too much gel at the end of your nail. So you can see the structure of it there, and then just pop it upside down, let gravity do its thing. And then what I do is I just keep flicking it over and seeing, checking the light line. The light line's a bit lumpy bumpy, so we're going to just pull that gel down the nail a bit, so it's not as lumpy bumpy. And when you do this, you will, I think you'll feel the difference in your press-ons. They'll feel a little bit more secure, because you've given it the structure that they need. Why is that? Don't know if we've got hairy Marys again. Fluffsies, fuzzies. Here we go. So upside down again. And then just keep checking it. See, that light line's not too bad. Not too bad. A little bit down the side. Just, I mean, you know, it is a little bit lumpy bumpy, but we can even that out with. That's got sparkles in it, so there's obviously glitter got in the top coat by the looks of it. Never mind. So we'll give that 20 seconds or so just to cure it. So what else was I gonna do? Oh yeah, so I'll do one more just to show you the structure, and then I'll do the last one off camera, and then we'll go move on to the next step. Right, that's that. I mean, you can do this with potted gel if you want, if you've got like pots of, you know, builder gel, which I just think builder in a bottle works. This is basically what builder base is. It's basically a builder in a bottle. It is soak off. Not that it matters because it's going on press-ons. But I do use it when I put me full cover tips on. I do use this on top just to strengthen them, and then I put my gel polish over the top. But I just do a thin layer like that. I don't build it up. I don't build structure, because the tips that I use have got enough space in them for us to build the structure up with the gel inside the tip. So as you can see, we've got the bulk there. So we're just going to push it up a bit. Pillow it up there. Try and keep contact with it. It's harder for me because it's my left hand, but try and keep contact with it as you drag it down the nail. Here we go. And that one's not too bad at all. Just a little bit down the side. So just use your little brush. If you're worried about getting in your cuticles. And then if it's getting bulky at the end, just drag it up. Because you still don't want it to build up on the end of your nail. That's pretty good. There we go, get that one in. So I'll do the pinky off camera and then I'll be back. Right, so I got my top coat, and I normally put a thinnish layer on first. so you've got it where you want it. And then what you can do is get a little bit more on your brush and just drop it and drag it down, and then just let it settle a little bit, and then flip your hand the same with that, as I don't want to have to file anything. Me arms and me hands and everything are really sore, so I can't be doing. It's a little bit wibbly wobbly. That's better. And then double check you haven't got any your side walls, and I normally give it 10 seconds. Again, I'm using Born Pretty. You can use a thicker top coat if you like, but my top coat of preference is the Born Pretty. Sorry, I'm probably out of shot there, sorry. This has definitely got glitter in it. So as you can see, it's a bit lumpy bumpy at the bottom there. So I'm going to get a bit of my top coat. Not too much, because this top coat's not thick, it's more runny. So I'm just going to check that light line again, see we've got a bubble in there. There you go, the light line's a lot better, that'll do. Doesn't have to be perfect, not for me anyway. I find that if I try and get that light line, this is what I was saying about the other day, we get so fixated on everything being absolutely perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. Because when people look at your nails, they'll go, oh yeah, they're lovely. They're not scrutinising them. You know, I mean, I understand if if I'm doing a set for Instagram or something and people can zoom in, but they're going to do that anyway. You know what I mean? Doesn't just, as long as you're content with them on your nails, then that's all that matters really. But yeah, so I'll get ready for the next step and I shall be back. Right, so next we have Madam Glam. So I've got Berry Bliss and the No White top coat, because we're going to elevate these even further. So nicely top coated, they're a little bit wibbly wobbly, so if you're bothered about them being wibbly wobbly in the light round, you can buff them, file them and re-top coat them, but because my hands are sore, I'm not going to do that. I'm quite happy with her. So this is another thing that bothers me about press-ons, because I'm wearing them long. You can see the white. They tend to use white because they're cheap, and obviously they can print whatever they want on the top, and it's nice, it shows up. And that needs a little file, so I normally just file down the edges just in case I've got any spillage of top coat or anything. Just do that with all of them, and just a quick flick across the ends and you'll see why in a minute. Right, so just make sure there's no dust on them. Okie dokie. Right, so I want to put gel polish on these. Now if I just paint gel polish onto the underneath of those, chances are it'll just peel off. So you can base coat them if you want to base coat them. If you don't have a primer, I've got primer, so I'm just going to just put a little bit of primer in each of them. Doesn't have to be loads, it gives it something to stick to. You can use any primer. Doesn't have to be expensive. I mean, Born Pretty is a really good one. I don't have the Madam Glam primer. so I'm just using that one. So just let that dry a little bit, and then it goes tacky, and it gives you a tacky layer to paint your gel onto. Now this is also glue in the dark. So if it was the summer and I was wearing summer press-ons, then I would maybe use something like a nude underneath. See how that would just, it takes away from the starkness of the white. That's what I would do. So, because I do like press-ons, they're great. If you know, if you're not good at doing your nails or whatever, I think that's smashing. There we go. So we've got Hairy Mary. Yeah, we've got him. We've got him. So you don't want much on your brush because you're just going to paint underneath. And I normally just set the brush in the middle, try and flatten it out, and just push it up as near as you dare. You don't want to get it on your skin. If you do, you can wipe it off. So then I'm going to just have the brush just a little bit over the edge there, just to get rid of that white. And if you don't have a steady hand, then don't worry, because I'm going to show you what to do. And I'm just going to push that a bit further up there, and a little bit further up there. Right, so I'm getting some on my skin, so I'm just going to get it straight off. And then you can take your little brush and just drop some in there. Just fill them little gaps in. Not particularly bothered about painting my own nail under there because it's quite short, you wouldn't see it anyway. You don't want much on the brush, and then just flatten it out a little bit because you don't want it thick under there. And I'll just double check that I've got the edge of that. And then the end, so I'm just going to dab my brush on. And then have a look, see if you missed any bits. There's a bit there. Probably want just a little bit on there. That'll do it. Right, and then you want to get a wipe and just run it down so that you're not touching the actual side, but just on the upper side of your nail where you've painted it. Can you see? And then you've got it on there, but not on the paintwork, not on the top coat rather. There you go. And then we are going to light it up. Here we go. My doofus fell out. Nothing worse is than your doofer falling out. So which way will I do it? I'll do it this way. So I'm going to light the cat eye up. This is much harder to do with me lefty. And then down the other side. There we go. That's lit up. Nice and sparkly. I mean, you can put a pattern in there or anything if you want. There we go. And then we're going to get that in the lamp. So again, I'll just give it 10 seconds and then I'll do the next one. Do, 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 do. Just talk amongst yourselves. There we go, that'll do. And then we're going to do another one. So like I say, you don't want a lot on your brush, so you don't want it all flooding into into your nail at the bottom. Just go as far up as you dare. I mean, you could do this whole bit with a little brush if you so desired. I'm just taking it as far as I want to go, or as far as I'm comfortable, let's just say. I'm going to do that end bit while I'm there. Like I say, don't worry if you get it on the other side, because we're going to do the edges. And then we'll just get a little bit on here. This is tricky with my left hand. Here we go. Just get a little bit on there. Just check we've got some on the end. There we go. So then again, just wipe the edges, just so you know you haven't got any on the top coated side, and then light your cat eye up again. And then I feel like I'm doing everything the wrong way. That's probably lit up enough. Here we go. Let's see that. Just make sure you haven't got any on you. Which I have. Got a bit on my skin. So just use a tool or whatever you need to get it off. Here we go. And then just double check it before you put it in the lamp, and then you know you haven't got any on your skin, and you know you haven't got any on this side. Yeah, there we are. Right, so I shall do the other three and we shall come back and we shall have a look at them. Right, so there they are. I've put my little satiny gloves on because my hands are still sore, so I'm a little bit embarrassed. So yeah, there you go. That's got cuticle oil on them now, haven't I? So just shine them up a bit. But the actual press-ons are really, really cool. The thumbs, give them a shine, give them a shine, shiny shine. There we go. We've got faces on that one, look. We've got the graveyard on that one. Pumpkins. Love that one as well. So these are really awesome press-ons. And then obviously we've got the purple underneath. But I'm going to put the lights out. Ooh, they glow in the dark. Get that off. Get that off. There. So they glow in the dark. Cat eye. How cool are they? So when you're out Halloweening with your glow in the dark nails, I'm going to put it back on. Boop. Boop. There we go. And that's them there. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I hope it give you some ideas what to do with your cheap press-ons. You can see obviously they have structure now here where you need it, and they're really, I mean, they're well on, but that's just give them a bit more structure with them being so long, because you don't want to hurt your nails. But yeah, I really love them. These gloves are too big, but never mind, they do the job. So there. So yeah, so there you go. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Hit the notification bell, ding-a-ling-ling. Doesn't actually make a noise, but it will tell you when I upload. And I'll see you lovely lot in the next one. Bye. I'll leave everything linked down below as well, and all my discount codes. Bye.